only two ways realtors can mess this up, and both are really lethal. You don't need 100 data points to define a great lead. You just need 3, as shown here. If you're not testing your client targeting like a marketer, you're just guessing like a rookie. If you actually want to find out what works in a week, here's what I would do. So here's how you tie it all together in one clean map. You can literally draw this in 60 seconds to actually find out what you need to do. Most realtors are either targeting everyone and converting no one, or they're so niche they run out of clients before the month even ends. Today I'm going to basically give you the exact framework to find your ideal client. Not too broad, not too narrow, basically applying that Goldilocks system and turn that predictable pipeline to actually make some money, as that's going to be done here through this lovely Miro board I've made for you today. But before we get into it all, my name is Dylan Kirk. I'm the CEO and founder of Estato, and we basically pride ourselves on making sure we build quality advertising systems for realtors. So not a typical, we'll run ads for you, 2K per month, whatever. Facebook ad company number 5006 already does that. We basically focus on building a system that's niche to your market, specified to you, and making sure that we're hyper focusing over quality instead of quantity. Because we realize that 100 leads and 0 conversions is still 0 conversions, is 0 leads. Because 100 multiplied by 0 is still 0. So keep that in mind. We want to focus on quality instead of quantity, because we don't want to waste your time, if that makes sense. So that's basically what we do. So if you feel like you're targeting everyone and getting no one, or you're so niche you're missing real opportunities, this is how to balance targeting with precision and profit. You're making one of the most common lead gen mistakes. There are only 2 ways realtors can mess this up, and both are really lethal. There are 2 targeting mistakes that basically kill your pipeline completely. Number 1 is having a messaging that's too broad. So if you're targeting anyone who wants to buy or sell a home, or your messaging becoming vague and forgettable, you waste time on low quality leads. So this is where you got people who can't get pre-approved on the buyer side, or you got sellers who are thinking way too big picture, or just not in the right position to do anything. And also, if your ads, emails, or your calls sound like everyone else, you'll be ignored like everyone else. But there's also mistake number 2, which is too narrow. So you basically, here's a hyper-focused example here. Targeting tech startup employees relocating from San Francisco to Austin under age 35. You're making the market way too small, and it's giving you inconsistent income. And this is why you can run out of leads very, very quickly by basically killing your scalability from over customization. It's like, they're relocating, they've probably got a dog or 2, right? One's a golden retriever. Behave yourself. And also just a tactical tip for you guys, write down your current targeting statement. So is it something that anyone could say, or is it so specific that it could backfire? Because you want to figure out where it basically sits, and you want to meet in the middle. But with the Goldilocks method here, this is basically done, and the way I really like to represent it, through this bullseye board here. Not all clients are equal, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You just need to categorize them so you're not wasting your time. Being able to systemize and actually put clients into specific columns will help you so much in your business, especially when it comes to getting more leads in and figuring out which ones are your best ones to go after. You got perfect fit, strategic fit, and you got distraction clients. And just a bit of a homework thing for you guys, I want you to start tagging your leads so that they fall into these 3 categories. The moment you start tagging, you're going to start seeing patterns. And as I say in all my videos as well, seeing patterns is by far the easiest way to scale, especially when it comes to data. Data tracking is so important, but so many people sleep on it. So when it comes to perfect fit, these are people that have high motivation, they're aligned with your process, they're financially qualified, and they respect your time ultimately. So that's going to be your perfect one. That's going to be the perfect one to go after for the perfect fit. But again, that can be too narrow. So you can go for strategic fit, which is meeting in the middle, and probably the one I recommend the most. Still profitable with the right positioning. They're good financials, but a bit less urgency. So that's just you having to get them over the line, and they might need more nurturing. So these are people, especially you have like the follow-up system I uploaded last week. It basically means that you'll be able to see this and being able to identify and actually nurture these people automatically. So when it comes to nurturing and stuff like that, you don't really have to worry about that too much if you automated everything. But that really depends on if you watch my videos or not, which if you haven't, I don't know what's wrong with you. The final one is distraction clients. So ones I wouldn't really recommend going after. Basically going to be a lot of time wasters here. Basically low motivation, unrealistic expectations, and as I say here, time wasters. They're not coachable, they have the wrong mindset to begin with, and they can't really be helped. I know some people have the mindset that everyone's closable, everyone can be converted. That's technically true over time, but right now at this very moment in time, they're not in a position you need them to be to actually make a decision. If they even do convert, the chances are they're going to be a nightmare client, so just keep that in mind there. So once you figured out which one you want to go after, we're going to categorize them and basically give you a bird's eye view of which one you should go after, and basically what I'd recommend. Two things I can recommend though is just stop trying to define them by zip code and income level alone, because that doesn't work. And instead think in use cases. So people upgrading, relocating, downsizing, like focus on the offers. Who's going to be after these offers? Like for example, someone who's buying their first home is going to have different fears than someone selling a rental. Like speak to that, not their age, not what kind of person they are, but what they're after. You don't need 100 data points to define a great lead. You just need 3, as shown here. If you've ever in your life had an easy client, congratulations, because you already have a targeting answer. But here are some great examples here of basically what it can look like, what your targeting can look like, and what to really base your targeting off. So your category, life stage. So too broad, it's just going anyone at any point of a life stage, and that's not really helpful. Too specific is first time home buyer, couple, 30s, 2 kids, really doesn't work. So the balanced targeting example I would give here is young families upgrading from condo. Location, all of South California, not great, especially your mileage, it's going to be through the roof. But one street in Laguna Beach is too specific as well. Like you're going to probably find maybe a lead or 2 from that. So Orange Country suburbs near schools is a balanced example for that. Orange County. Motivation. Anyone thinking of buying is too broad. Too specific is buyers relocating in the next 30 days. That's way too tight-knit of a timeline to actually get any real traction. Instead, people who need to move in the next 3 to 6 months is way better. Pain point. So someone who wants a good deal. Who wants a bad deal? But the other one, is hate Zillow and online searches. So this is a really, really specific type of pain point. It's not really going to go well. Your total market audience is going to be very, very small. So frustrated with the home search process is a good balanced targeting example. And here are some great case examples as well if you haven't got one already. So Maria, single mum, upgrading to school district. David and Kate, tech transplants from San Francisco. And Tom, retiring, downsizing into low maintenance condo. So 3 examples here of what it could be offered. And this is something you can apply to yourself as well. Look at your clients in the past, what was the best one to work with, and try and target off them, but not being too broad. Build 3 personas based off your past and not make it fantasy. Speak to them in ads and not to everyone. The moment you speak to everyone, your ads might look nice, your ads might be performing well, but your conversions are going to be terrible. That's kind of why a lot of advertising agencies fail as well. They're either too broad or they're too narrow. You need to fit in the middle. It's not just who you target though, it's where you find them that determines how ready they are to actually act. Now if you're sat there thinking, Dylan, this is great and all, but I don't have enough leads to warrant this system. Well, it's a good thing I'm here, because this whole channel is dedicated to teaching realtors how to get more leads without signing up with Facebook ad company number 5,678. So follow this system here. It's a very simple system. You follow this through. If for some reason your ads don't look nice at the end of it, you're wasting your money. But these videos go into great depth. If you have any questions, leave a comment or DM me on Instagram and I'll be able to help. I'm much more active on Instagram than I am on this channel. So just keep that in mind there. So where do you find leads? That's your answer. A lot of people like to think as well when it comes to leads that cold leads are just by far going to be better because they're cheaper. The problem with having cheaper leads is that you're then making up for that currency in time. So you're either spending time or you're spending money in real estate. It just depends what you value more. If you value your money more, you're going to go to cold outreach, you're going to go to Zillow, you're going to go for any inside brokerage leads that maybe close 10-20% of the time. Or if you value your time more, you can invest in paid advertising or just paid traffic sources in general, and you'll triple, quadruple, whatever you could do with cold outreach. So choose 2 sources this week, choose your 2 lead sources, post or run ads only to those that fit your bullseye profile here, and then just see what happens. If it works well, double down on it, keep it going. Next up is the feedback loop. So if you're not testing your client targeting like a marketer, you're just guessing like a rookie. You're gonna be basically the noob of ad systems. So basically start with small 1 to 2 profiles, just figuring out, looking at here, just going, right, case examples here, or your own personal samples here of who your ideal client was and go off that. Test scripts or offers for 2 weeks, see what happens. Track conversion and not just impressions, so see what actually changes in 2 weeks. And then refine based on actual conversations. So when it comes to changing and testing your scripts and offers for 2 weeks, it really depends on your ad spend. If it's low, if say $10, $20 a day ad spend, I'd probably recommend 2 weeks to wait. But if your ad spend is through the roof or you want to find results quicker, I'd recommend a week, maybe even 5 days, depending on how much you're putting into it. But based on your results there, you can easily find out what works from the conversations, then go through again. Your feedback loop is going to be based on based on actual conversations and people who are actually turning into leads, not people who are just clicking on. Your CTR might look nice, but if you're not getting any conversions, then it's not really working. But yeah, a minimum viable test, if you actually want to find out what works in a week, here's what I would do. So run a script or a video to your target audience, as I say here, spend $50 a day, and run it for 7 days. If you're not getting any leads, it means the wrong audience. A great way to see if you're not actually getting leads is by checking your CTR. If you have a good CTR, great. But if you're not getting any conversations or conversions, it's the wrong offer. So you have good convos, no sales, it means the wrong framing. A great example for this as well is that every 2 weeks, just personally, if you want to try this yourself, test a different hook and an offer combo for your bullseye profile. Your data will tell you who actually wants to buy. 2 weeks is a great example to actually start testing more. It's enough data to gather and actually give it a go. So here's how you tie it all together in one clean map. You can literally draw this in 60 seconds to actually find out what you need to do. So step 1 is define your must-haves. So define your perfect fit traits. So number 2 is identify past clients that actually fit. So map client examples there. Number 3 is validate demand with test offers. So go through, find out what works, go through the feedback loop and see what happens there. Next one is launch content or offers or use targeted traffic sources. So this is where you can do your paid ads. I wouldn't recommend cold calling or anything like that because you can't really control the quality, but any form of paid traffic works really well there. Number 5 is refine based on engagement. So based on your data, you can figure out exactly what's working and then reiterate. And if you find out it is working, scale it. Scale what's working. It's the easiest thing. Alex Hormozi says it time and time again, is that just double down on what's working. You kill new ideas, but see stuff that actually works, see what's backed up with data, and then just double down on that. It's by far the easiest way to scale, and it's no different in RE. The problem is with this strategy map is that not a lot of realtors follow it. What happens is that realtors will skip 1 to 4 and they go straight to refinement based on engagement. So the problem is they burn out, and the reason why that is because they're trying to scale broken marketing. They just think, oh, I'm just gonna scale up, see what happens. That's not how it works. A lot of agents fail to understand what marketing actually looks like, at least what good marketing looks like. Whether they rely off their brokerage leads, they rely off cold calling, door knocking, flyers, mail lists. A lot of that is a big waste of time. Just being brutally honest, just trying to save you time down the line. If I tell you now that it is a waste of time, you'll thank me later. Paid advertising is by far the easiest way to do it. If you're a realtor and you've got some money set aside and you've got a couple hours on your hands, then I would set aside that money, watch my guides online and figure out exactly what the best offer works in your market and go from there. You could look at this channel and this could give you a step-by-step breakdown of exactly how to run your ads successfully. If you still can't figure it out, then DM me on Instagram. As I say, I'm much more active on there and we'll be able to sort you out. DM me deals and I'll be able to help you out. No worries there. But once you dial in your targeting and once you figure it out, everything becomes easier. That your messages get sharper, your ads get cheaper, and your conversion rate skyrockets because you're following this strategy map. Easiest thing in the book. But this whole Mario board here basically means no more chasing, no more guessing. Let's actually build your real estate business up on qualified demand, not on hope. So you can look at this Mario board will be in the description to have a look at. If you want me to personally help you and actually get it tailored to your market, your specific situation, and find out how can we actually run it at cost efficient as possible, then DM me deals on Instagram and we'll get you sorted. So that's absolutely no worries there at all. But yeah, that's everything. Watch this video as many times as you like if you want to figure out your real estate client and which one actually works best for you. But yeah, apart from that, that's everything. See ya.